She snapped. How inappropriately I was dressed for the occasion. My pants were too short. She could see my flamenco poles, she called them. Then she called them clappers of a bell. Funny, huh? She said my little scrawny twiglets should always be hidden from public view, especially when in the company of a delicate lady flower. I became self-conscious, my guru. Once she asked me why I don't employ mints to freshen my breath, and that night I was crunching on them like crazy. And then she says, "Can you stop making that awful noise?" I spat them in my hand and put them in my pocket. For love is for the love of the woman I do this. Is for the love. Is for the loving I did this. I tell you, I almost have it memorized. Some sections, like scripture. I started thinking, Guru, about what you had said to me. And I hold this written on the back of a business card in my wallet and read it 3 times a day. You said, dearest Guru, don't be afraid of being afraid. Be aware of being afraid. Use this with any emotion. Yes, I said this. Do not be afraid of being afraid. Be aware of being afraid. There's big difference. One is nice. The other is a little stinky. Yes, I said this. This is a lot of work to do. Anyway, it took us almost 3 hours to get here, she shouted. She screamed, she yelled. Even when that shortcut through the fields was supposed to get us here in half time, it added time. It's almost 7:90, she said, and we haven't even eaten anything. 7:90, she says. It was on our first date I noticed her irritating method of telling the time, what she termed anti-militaristic time. The rule was, she said, look at your watch, add 60 minutes to the minutes, and subtract 1 hour from the hour. The rule was add 60 minutes to minutes and subtract 1 hour from the hour. So 8:30 p.m. was 7 and 90 minutes. Okay, 7:30 was 7:90. She had an anti-military timepiece, specially designed by a Swiss watchmaker to help her with this peccadillo. I started then taking inventory of every single quirk I noticed in her, her unique personality traits. For example, whenever we walked together in the street and a man passed and looked, she flirted and swished her hips and then looked at me. She looked at me and she said, proudly announcing, "Well, what do you think of that then?" I thought it a tad desperate, but since it's a bit early in the relationship to be squabbling in public, I said, I'm not so much into the men right now, but thank you in case in the future something change. All her less than savory traits instant flooded and swirled around my brain. I recall on our first date what she did to a vagrant sitting outside a brick wall of a restaurant. He asked, Miss, Miss, extra change? She says, oh, sure, yes, thank you. And she take out the change and off she trots down the street in her high heels. Clip at the club. Next to me, full of embarrassment, humiliation. He chased us with a broken broom and she dropped the money. Many other things I notice about her, and I think, and then I notice something very interesting. That ring in her nose that she was wearing, she told me that it could buy 1 year apartment rent.